Ja, this is part 37 now. The finale of the Claude any percent or any percent Claude only encounters. We're counting in the levels here, so 43 on Barrett. 43 on Barrett. On Barrett. Sean Barrett. Level 1 till Tifa. Level 42. Och den har någon som här these levels basically like okay, what was that's that. And it was then possible it's going to be pretty tough. Red 30 is the first. I'd say yes, but keep in mind that we did a lot of encounters, but there still was a lot of encounters that we could have taken that we did not take, and stuff that level 50 on hooks. I think 50 on hooks. And I kind of wish that you could check what she was level 44 kids. Because keep your mouse in the minimum like level thing. We won't allow to manipulate XP, so we really need to leave everyone alive. And then we will always use whatever party members are the lowest. So we will bounce around with characters a lot. And then we use this. So kids it was 44. It's 47. Level 47. So we check. Then all the party, I think that's the best part here. Like, you know, they're pretty around that I feel like inland of 50,000. And there is clear things now. Level 50,000. Level 50,000. The fact that they are over level 50 is pretty crazy. So total level. We have to respond there. Total. I mean, the text will still appear, like disappear from here, but just a total level. Oh, so 54 plus 43 plus 42 plus 42 plus 50 plus 4 plus 7 plus 5. For a total of 372. That's a total level. Not counting in here because there the stairs over level doesn't matter. Because there's no way to check what level there it would be at least on the position. So yeah, so 372. That's pretty decent. Keep my post. Possible challenge. Challenge. All that was going to be very different to that. Now though, all levels here or the characters we use here won't really matter. Obviously we use our highest here, I feel like. We do use whoever our highest are here. Use them. Your high potion up here. But here our materia should be different here. Normally I would change the materia here and stuff that. But we got 10 mega elixirs. Because normally you used to this, now you use Ultima Weapon, Conformer, Inner Gospel, and Claude. We have Circlet, yes, we have Circlet, so Jesus Magic, Magic Plus, with a Magic Plus on her as well. That's our big. Let's go in. Yeah. I think that's 37 here. I don't need materia anymore. I still want it. And that is of course because we did this quick enough and stuff that. Because right, you might wonder like, oh, why use the ultimate weapons in this fight and stuff that, like, it's very, very simple, but I, no. Used. We can keep doing this during the actual summon here. You did almost max damage. We're duplicating our mega elixirs. And the quicker you do this, by the way, the quicker you can make things go here. And here they prevent you from accidentally kicking again because we're doing a summon. So it's a trick you can also do, for example, when fighting like Emeraldu Weapon and working like that, you know. We're already 99 mega elixir, okay, so fine. I wonder if she will remember that mind command that we put in. Because this gives no XP here. Safer several times. Safer several times. Safer several times. Ball. The hero drink, you drink. Shadow Flat. Hero drink. Yeah. Hero drink. Let's fight him normally, and I'm just gonna do it towards the end. The whole, you know, once it's weak enough. 70. Dodge. I used dodge, LOL. There you go, this is how you use Shadow Flare. Hero Drink and then another Hero Drink of Claw. Oh, blarg. We're dodging everything like. I believe these will just mime his Shadow Flare once he casts it. Shadow Flare. I believe the Hero Drink stacks 4 times on a character, I believe. He's switching up, but he always does the turns in the same order, by the way. Keep that in mind, he always follows a certain order. Hero Drink on her and on Music himself. Hero Drink. Stacking Hero of Drinks. No, Pale Horse first, and then Supernova, I believe it is. Pale Horse block. To keep in mind that quote-unquote Supernova can never kill you. Then Hero Drink on Claude. Right, and Hero Drink on her. There we go. Elixir. Very fast. Attaboyen. This will be the calculation for Supernova. They might say like, oh, this makes no sense. He's fucking destroying your universe, the planet that you're on and stuff like that. Sure, but the thing is that he basically creates it every single time, basically. Like, I think that mathematics formula is supposed to be that he's actually creating the entire universe and then he's totally destroying it and stuff like that. And actually, this is an actual summon, by the way. That this technically exists in the code in the game, but this is the worst summon in the game, because this summon is basically having the gravity effect. This summon will never kill something. But I believe actually this is the strongest summon in the game, because you were never meant to get it, right? So that I believe that it can do more than max damage, it can do more than 9,099 damage. So I believe if you would, for example, if we could use this on Emeraldu Weapon, for example, we would use Emeraldu Weapon like very, very low health and stuff there, because we see, for example, Sid will take way less damage because you cannot die from this. So not everyone is gonna like get like Claude is gonna get hit for like what is it 4,800 or something like that, or 4,900 or something like that. Sid will only get hit for 16 or 1,500 or something like that. We'll see here. Of course he makes it explode here, the Supernova is like touching everyone and stuff like that now. But Separat is of course not like a black beam, because he's still like a thing. You can see here, for example, all of them were left at pretty low health here. Well, I did not mean to put the target on there. There's the lighting there. We can get in some damage with that as well because of the play beam. This could bet if I someone. Then we Hero Drink. And what is it? We Hero Drink. I think we do that, and then we Hero Drink Claw again. I think that will do it with Hero Drinks. I think that Claude is on his 4th stack now with this. So, and then everyone else can get on the 4th stack as well, but we don't need to, I don't think. He's also going to use like Heartless Angel eventually as well. Shadow Flap. Max damage Shadow Flap. I want to test if we do max damage already with the thing, by the way. It's better than it's basically to remove, like if you have big gardens like that. It did something on Yuffie though, but I don't know what it did on Yuffie, the Yuffster. What was he doing? That's just weak souls. Okay. Is he dead? Ow! That inflicted stop, I think. Not certain though. He's going up. Once he uses wall, then he has done a full rotation, by the way. Can't reach, okay, fine. Let's use that. White wing, please. Shadowfly. So wait, is this? Why are you doing that again, please? Why are you doing... You never did half the same mode. Huh. Right, doesn't he always use Heartless Angel? Maybe he doesn't. Maybe Heartless Angel is an extra move he adds in. Maybe he's not high enough level for that, because Sephiroth's level is based. Because of the time you take, he decides how many party members you get, but then also, for example, if you're level 99, he gets extra health. And stuff that I think he gets like 100,000, 200,000 or more. That's not it. Yes. Or maybe it's not that much. Or actually it is. Because yeah, I believe he doesn't even die in one KOTR if you would actually KOTR and stuff like that, because yeah. But the fact that you can use to have 99 mega elixirs, 99 elixirs at this point is that. So you could decide to not use the whole W item things and be like, okay. Because obviously, right, you cannot have the W item by the way, during the lowest level possible, because we will allow the trick that you can do. And the trick is basically in a certain cutscene, you just hold to the right, I believe it is, that you do, and then you mash a certain button, basically, I think it is. But you hold to the right and mash like X or whatever it is. I think it is that mash. And you hold to the right, basically. And then it says level there and another thing there, and I don't know what, or something like that, you know. Is that one thing from another game, maybe it is, you know. You can only see it now, right, you know. Because it's 299 hearts still gold. Something like that. Seems weird. Item really it will go Heartless Angel, and it's cast on everyone, right? Yeah. That's Heartless Angel, Blade Beam. Blade Beam. Dead? Dead. Yeah, that's a pretty cool thing. Like, Claude got really, really mad at me. Long, so hard, much wow. Yeah, well, it didn't need KOTR there. I just want to show you that you don't need KOTR. Because technically, right, because at this point you can already have a lot of people who might say, oh, it was only possible because you used like elixirs and stuff like that. Keep in mind that without manipulating it, but without using W item, I still had 11 mega elixirs. And we didn't even use up 11 mega elixir for this encounter. So that you cannot say that only the only thing that made you survive here was the W item, because that is shit. Because of the fact that I had 11 mega elixirs before we started manipulating the mega elixirs, and we didn't use 11 mega elixirs in this fight. So yeah. And that's it, everyone. That's it. But there's one more encounter to get. And this is the Claude model I would be using if we would actually get like a proper remake of the game. Well, not really a remake, but you know, like, and they could call it Final Fantasy VII, for example. Final Fantasy VII Reborn, and then Final Fantasy VII, or you know, whatever, right? Because yeah, because basically what I'm thinking is that they would do it like this game, right? And they would release it on multiple discs and stuff that, but it would be like, you know, it wouldn't take up a lot of space. They would just have like multiple discs, and the discs would only work as a thing that just allows you to switch disc and stuff that, so you would get that feeling again, right? There wouldn't actually be any data on the discs, right, or something like that. It would just be like, okay, you just, you know, like you just get the thing, you just get to like install the game basically from with the disc, like on the first disc on the data is on that disc, for example, and it just installs the entire game and stuff that, and then everyone is brought to this resolution model that Claude is using for this cutscene here and stuff that, like every character model will be this type of, you know, detailed and stuff that, because yeah. Because yeah, so basically what part 3 of Final Fantasy VII Remake needs to do it, you need to be able to go back into every single town in the game. There cannot be a point where, oh, now you cannot return to this town after you have done this story event here and stuff that, you know, like every town needs to be able to return to. And you can see that you're actually in space here. So that's, yeah. And Claude wants to fight separate one last time. And this is supposed to look like more than what he looks like in the cutscene, basically, is what it is here. And Separatist is dead. And then he, of course, Exploderinos, boom, and all the souls come out from him. Stuff that, and all of those souls are not his souls. His soul basically gets disintegrated completely, like Separate Soul is not there anymore. And all the other souls that are escaped are all the lives he took, so technically you can say that Garrett's soul couldn't quote-unquote return to the planet because of the fact that Separate was in the way, that Separate quote-unquote takes her soul, whatever he does, because he can take her spirit energy or whatever it is, right? So and you can see how now those red souls get cleansed by the live stream and stuff that. And you would have figured they would have done something there with the thing. And the hand that he's seeing is not supposed to be Tifa's hand here. Or the one that he sees here is not Tifa's hand. It's actually supposed to be Aerith's hand. But Aerith is the one that actually helps him out and stuff that. Now it makes sense. Tifa is like, oh, you fucking dumbass. Stop standing there. Oh no, I fall down, then he goes. And then it's Tifa in that place. because you can obviously see that this is the cutscene model, because that belt, you don't see that belt at all on his normal combat model. You don't get to see the belt at all, or his shoulder pad, for whatever reason. But yeah, you can clearly see that there's slightly different design on the character models, but when they're in the cutscenes, Tifa's boobs are even bigger in the cutscene than it's actually started there. And then there you sitting over there in another spot there. And it's so weird to see that their mouths actually move and stuff like that, you know. So, yeah. But as you can see, there is no model for Vincent. There is no Vincent. There is no Yuffie in the cutscenes and stuff that. You know, you never get to see them having a model and stuff like that. Lady Luck, don't fall me. Yeah, because they wouldn't have been able to get out of the ship otherwise and stuff that, you know. The ship is supposed falling down. But right, but it can be said that, oh, it's not falling down because of the place collapsing or whatever. That it's actually that he wished it to happen or whatever, right? Or he used some sort of remote to bring the ship down, basically, and stuff like that, yeah. And of course they escape. But it's hard to escape from the pool there because there is some sort of weird pool coming from the KOTR there. That's basically a holding shooting out the crater, and that fucking ship is like fucking getting destroyed. So he has to use emergency. Sweet, and that of course transforms the ship into the ship that you see in Advent Children. Fucking like a bat, like the thing, you know, the bat jet. And then Marlene hears the flower girl for some weird reason. And that's of course because her soul is now free. And stuff like that, that's how it's explained actually. So that shows you that that must be the tower that you see and stuff that, but that is of course not really a house that much, right? Because you can go there and they are not there in Com where that's called specific tower is and stuff that, so yeah. Well, and then of course Meteor for some reason attacks Midgard first, because it's not like destroying the planet in the way you think. Like Meteor is not like crashing into the planet and then the whole planet gets destroyed. It's instead doing this. Meteor is actually attacking with its own spells. It's basically got material slots and it's casting like tornadoes here and stuff like that, you know. But I believe that most people were evacuated from Meteor at this point. Because yeah, you can see that clearly that the cannon is falling down there and stuff like that. And of course, Holy comes. It's just trying to counter Meteor basically, because Holy is now free. Because it's separate network. It's trying to shield Midgard. Which is pretty crazy, you know. When you think about it. The next move water and stuff like that. Holy has no chance against Meteor. He has no chance. And it's just and it's like, oh, we cannot worry about Midgard basically. Wait a damn minute. What's going to happen to Midgard? We can't let that happen. I had everyone take refuge in the slums. The way things are now, but I mean, like he said himself that he got taken in like what do you call it? Now I believe that he got taken in somewhere there. So that, but you can clearly see that the brunt of the attack is taken by by Shimla building and stuff like that, but you also saw it destroying the other kids and stuff like that. So all the people in it are basically dying. So then, but yeah, you see is yellow mega from there, even and stuff like that. What's that? It's interesting also if you think about where it's coming from. The cutscene is that because what the oh shit points. Greens. Total by the way 352. So we calculated in total. So total 54. Actually, so from lowest to highest, get 13 with the instead of 2. Then we take 42. Gets it down 44. Gets it 47. Then we 53. It's 54. And that gives it to 2. I mean, this was not like lowest level possible and stuff like that, because it would be lowest level like without glitches and stuff like that, or without manipulation and stuff like that. That's of course obviously it. That's obviously basically. And that's actually interesting if you think about that ending there, when they show you that happening there with her showing up there and stuff like that. I think that is supposed to be like the detail that makes you realize that the remake is going to happen at some point and stuff like that. Because if you think about it, that maybe that is supposed to imply that she got revived by the live stream, that she came back because of what she because the Eric remake obviously knows that she's going to die and stuff like that, but she is the Eric with experience of this game, basically. Same thing with Claude, that Claude remembers stuff. There is obviously things that has already happened and stuff that Claude already knows about the stuff. So that now, I don't know if it's going to be true that every party member knows and stuff like that, or what has happened, or if it's only going to be those characters that actually happened for the rest of that, but yeah. So yeah, do we have, I'm just gonna check here. Yeah, we have already uploaded all of those. We only need to upload this as well here. Yeah. Then of course you get also a bonus scene after this, which I forgot how many years later it said that it was and stuff like that, because yeah, keep in mind of course that what is it, Red 30 is actually 48, but KOTR corrects him and says that that's more comparable to being 16 and stuff like that, meaning that it's basically like 48 divided by 16 to find out how much slower he's aging. So he's aging 3 times as slow. So basically, like if he would be 300, he would only be that would be 100 in human years and stuff like that. So basically, you could say that if a human could become 100 years old, then Red 13 could become 300 years old, basically, and stuff like that, you know. If that makes sense, right? You know. So yeah, it is pretty interesting that it's exactly divided by, that it exactly shows up at 3. It's not 3 comma something, you know, and stuff like that. It's just 3. Yeah, I mean, without decimal, right? So it's not 3 point something, it's just 3 exactly and stuff like that. If you take like 48 and divide it by 16 and stuff like that, it gives you 3. So yeah, which is pretty insane actually if you think about that, you know. So So it's 3 times as slow, you know. Yeah. Because if you think about it, right, that all of the places in the game exist on all the discs. Like the entire world have to exist on disc 1, even to locations where you cannot get and stuff like that. Because I believe, right, but I don't know if people are going to figure out more cloud surfing and stuff like that. Like, why do they specifically only cloud surf the disc 2? Is it not possible to trick the game into that you're in Medieval instead, for example? Is it not possible to go to Medieval and somehow trick the game into thinking, like, is there a way to, for example, to trick the game that you're there on the return to Medieval, for example? Like, oh, now you get live stream scene or whatever, because, yeah. The question is, I don't know if you could, for example, cloud surf and somehow get into the trigger for example, entering the Northern Crater, because that would have been cool. And if you could cloud surf directly after you left, you know, so that's it. Soprano, alto, tenor, bass. That's all the ones from there, you know. So Square USA staff. Yeah, and it might be that it is based on the American version of the game, that it's not based on the European PAL version and stuff like that, because the PAL version is a little bit special and stuff like that, because, yeah. I kind of wish that in this that you could play the different versions of the game, that you could play the PAL and the US version. But I mean, if this is the American version, then I mean, imagine, right, if they could have made like a version where you could actually use the GameShock's code, that you could have like it built in or something like that, like you had the different like, GameShock codes. Because adding in separate, by the way, it's not part of like you can right, and you don't even need to use like the because the codes right in that you're using, for example, with the GameShock, that's not that you're hacking the game with GameShock, or that you're adding in things that aren't in the game. It's just that you do certain things with the data basically, and you're doing that thing with the data to the code. But if you know how to code something, that's how modders have been able to give you separate. And even giving you like a separate that can actually take damage, and not like a separate that is out of control. Stuff that I believe, right, that people have been able to do that, right? Am I thinking about it wrong? You know, yeah. And I do remember when there were like a thing that went around that, oh, maybe it only works in the Japanese 1.0 version, but there was supposed to be certain names that you could use in the game that would actually change your level or whatever, right? And I think it was in Final Fantasy VII, or it was something that was added later to the game. Maybe there was an international version, but I hate the version of the game where it works, whatever, right? Because I believe it was that you used Fujin and Raijin from Final Fantasy VIII or whatever, right? It was supposed to be, oh, use Raijin as the name for Claude, and Claude starts at this level or whatever, right? And there was supposed to be a code for Barret as well. Basically, there was only a code for Barret. For Claude, Barret, Tifa, and Aerith, I believe there was a code that you could use. It actually started them at a high level or whatever, because, yeah. But I mean, like, right, because there have been modders doing stuff, right, and they've had to stop in the game, right, that wouldn't people be able to see that there is something that would literally be like, okay, like this is, if you like, okay, this is what happens if you do it with, you know, a certain thing, right? Because, yeah. TDF interactive intercorporation, Microsoft Corporation, Corporation. I rated the games because they did the guide. It wasn't like the whole, you know. 500 years later. Okay, so 13 can actually. So he would be 548 at this point. So 548. So wait, if he is 500, if he is 548 divided by 3, so 182.66666. So basically it would be times 3, right? Because him being that old, the 504 548. But then it would be times 3. That would make a human 1644 years old. Basically, because he's 48 and he's like 16 in human years. No, it is 3 times lower. 16 in human years, so 548 would be like divided by 3. Right, so divided by 3. We said it's 182.66666. So I think you get to see me go there being all like green and stuff that, so you know. There is like boom, and it says something there in Japanese, and I don't know what it says there, if it's because it cannot say Final Fantasy VII again there or whatever, right? Because that would be weird. And then you're supposed to hear kids here, stuff that. And I believe that is supposed to indicate like advent children stuff and stuff like that, but yeah. Right, and we're done. We're done with the challenge, but that doesn't mean that we stop. So yes, so now we move all the range. And then we go no encounters because now we're done with the challenge. So now to indicate that we're done, we right, and then actually not like that, I think. Right, and then we nice. And this is to indicate that this is like basically like this is post game now. This is not post game. That looks pretty nice. So now it's post game time. And now post game, there's a bunch of things we want to do obviously for the post game here and stuff that. Right, and technically we already have the My Tree, correct? We have the My Tree. Right? Right, it's over here, yeah. We have the My Tree. I've called the Magic 2 charges. We have counter. Magic counter added. Right, so we're only gonna have, we don't have the lot of Mega Elixirs yet. No, we had 10. We had 10 left at that point, and there was no way that we used 10 in that battle, basically. So that, and even if we wouldn't have multiplied the Elixirs, by the way, we would have still had, what was it, 23 Elixirs we had before we started duplicating them and stuff like that. So yeah, you know, that is something. Oh. Now we're not gonna do Cloud Solo now, like doing like, you know, we're not gonna do like Cloud Solo against like Emeraldu Weapon and stuff like that, but we could theoretically already go and defeat Emeraldu Weapon, I'm pretty certain. Because I think we have the setup for it, but I'm not 100% certain. Stuff like that. Because we only have one magic counter, which is a problem. So basically, the setup we would want to have, if I just want to show you here, it's a quadramatic. automatic with gravity. So for example, if you check this allows you now to cast it times 4 twice. So that's something you can do. And then you combine this. Basically, this style is not really what you would want to be using here. You would want to be using quite a lot of Wizard Bracelet here, because Wizard Bracelet is going to be best here, but right, I kind of wish that Wizard Bracelet would have had like more dodge on it, and it would have been absolutely amazing and stuff that. You could also take, for example, say that for example having tough ring stuff that is really good as well here, because that can actually improve your tankiness. So you do that setup, for example, and then you also need to have a sneak attack, and then go with a counter, specifically magic counter here. Basically, what you would need to do here is just to get more of the gravity spell, just buy more gravity instead of you relying to mastering this one. So you can automatic twice with gravity. You cast gravity basically on this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's going to do 6,000 damage to Claude. If we have this set up here and stuff like that. So yeah, so we're probably going to be using like 80 plus and 100 plus on him as well here and stuff like that, which is not really that great because we don't need to level them up and stuff like that. So yeah. There's also other things we could do. For example, we could for example KOTR. So that, but for example, we would want to do some double magic here. So we can cast this. So since it's we can cast it 2 times there, whatever it is. Yeah, 2 charges because we're at the my 3 for some reason. For example, more demise here, or gravity, having more gravities will actually allow us to cast the spell more times, whatever, right? Because yeah, we're of course also gonna do this. We're gonna change the battle speed here. Because the interesting thing is going to be, for example, once we go on fight Emeraldu Weapon and stuff like that, yes, you could, for example, if you would have multiple quadramatic, then what we would do if you would have multiple quadramatic, for example, then you would set it up on every single character and stuff like that. So yeah, you could do that. And one thing, of course, because we're only using one of our sneak attacks here, we have 2 sneak attacks. The other sneak attack is not in level 2 yet, but for example, you would want to set up, for example, sneak attack. Get a with KOTR on someone and stuff like that, then you would have to do it on whoever the second highest magic attacker is. And stuff like that you would have to set up on whoever the second highest magic attacker is here. And you can see that City is slightly higher than her. Stuff like that, so City use Circlet. With Tough Ring would probably be the best thing on Claude actually. Except that Tough Ring. Gives him 215 magic defense and 194 regular defense and a 62% chance to dodge and 60% chance to dodge magic attacks. What is he at? He's 59%. She can go with another Tough Ring here. Okay, so basically here you would want to make sure that you set up these. You would want to make sure that we set not around here. And we set that up, for example, with weak attack. Hope that it goes up first. Then, for example, his attack is 150, so his attack is pretty decent for it otherwise. course, yes, you could use set up like double cut here, for example, and stuff that. But the thing is, we want to do this. We want to like double cut, set it up together with counter here. And of course, I want to put stuff here that we really need to level up and stuff that. So yeah. Because he might just die in one attack and stuff that, you know, so yeah, that's something. So XP plus obviously. Magic plus on seed. You see there's 174 magic attack. Does that still stack with a single magic here is the question. 74 times 185, okay. That still does stack. 100. Yeah, that still stacks. So now if that still stacks, Claude normally does not need it. I mean, the thing is, what is most important here is the XP plus. I think we go XP plus here actually. No, we don't. We use mime on Claude and having mime himself. He's still second best, right, in terms of magic attack. Yeah, he is. Right, so Claude, you want to use mine. Okay. And you're using that so down with sneak attack, and you're using counter with double thing there. The entire setup is that we won't be using for this here actually, stuff that, you know. Because so we need to grab 2 gravities and stuff that. But for example, if you have multiple sneak attacks, then you could, for example, if you have multiple materia, you could, for example, sneak attack gravity, sneak attack gravity, sneak attack gravity, and stuff that, and then you will have a chance to get a bunch of gravity at the start. And even the first level gravity should deal max damage to Emerald Weapon, because of the fact that the Emerald Weapon has a very large health pool. Stuff that, and that's how it works basically. That is very hard. A large health pool, but yeah. Once you have defeated the Emerald Weapon, then defeating the weapon becomes easy, because at that point you get a master magic, you get a master command. Get whatever else the other master thing is that you need to get, but yeah. And we can get bad breath down here as well, keep that in mind. Right, wait, is it 1,000 needles you can also get? Was that the one that we were missing? Is it 1,000 needles you can get? I don't think it's 1,000 needles, or is it? Because I know we can get Choco Buckle and Goblin Punch, stuff that. But I know we can get those things at least, you know, stuff that, because yeah, we need to grab a bunch of black aqualungs and stuff that. We haven't shown it, but yeah. Basically, yeah, for example, like, otherwise, for example, if you have enough counters, for example, like magic count, for example, then you could magic counter gravity, magic counter gravity, magic counter gravity, basically. And then if all of those things are like mastered, like, yeah, sure, you can do like a... But there is supposed to be a way to like manipulate this, but I think that only works in the Japanese version or whatever, because yeah. Of course, if we could go do guard skip, or, you know, imagine, right, if they made something in this game that you could use to activate, right, that Square Enix knows about certain glitches, and then they will release a version where you could use, quote unquote, or you could just program it in, right? Because you can program in like button presses and stuff that, right? Because that's how, for example, like a lot of like tool assisted thing work, like you using like TaskBot, whatever it's called, right? Yeah. You just use TaskBot and stuff that, because yeah. So yeah. Right, let's go get gravity. Let's go get what? 2 gravities is what we need to go get. Right. Keep in mind that this is after we've beaten the challenge and stuff that, so now, you know, now we don't need to call it Claude any percent anymore and stuff that, you know, whatever, because yeah, now we go to, right, we came back gravity here. And basically, by the way, this is the tower. This building, right? No, not that building, this building. So this would be where she lives, basically. This is where she would be, basically. My older brother is so stupid, so that's supposed to be her. But that, of course, obviously does not look like Marlene at all. But it is supposed to be, quote-unquote, where she lives. Here somewhere, or whatever, right? And maybe it's like that it's hidden or something like that, you know? Or maybe you could say, oh, it's one of the other houses is what it's supposed to be, but, you know, it is weird. Right, that's just the item shop. It's the material store. Yeah, it's not here, actually. It's... Wait, did we get the stuff here? Yeah, we've already got some stuff. I forgot if there is a weapon shop that we missed somewhere that I'm just like blanking on stuff that, you know. So basically we did get the flamethrower and stuff that, so let's go inside for Condor. Yeah. But of course, if enough people would want to, for example, I could like do like the whole lowest level possible next, or even the highest level possible next and stuff. That like lowest level possible means that will stay true to the whole no encounters thing. Well, not really no encounters. I would still allow encounters, but you need to escape from everything basically. But I'm pretty certain we can get grabbed here, so from the right person. No, you can throw manipulator. Oh, here though, and destruct them. It's not here either. You can get it in Medil, but Medil is not. It's not that good to have to go all the way to Medil. Right, so Javelin is not gotten in a store anywhere in the game. That seems rather old, right? Because there's a lot of weapons that you can get later on. Unless there is a shop that I just missed. And stuff that, you know, that could just be the case as well. That could just very well be the case. And yeah, we are going to need to do the Battle Arena as well, because obviously right, having final attack will be good against that fight as well. We just got the check here. We got one of each here. Yeah. You come again. Get 2 gravities. And come again, here. You set it up like this, basically, so gravity and then gravity here. For example, and that will allow you now, if you see here, it still shows us having 2 here, or whatever, right? But that's still wrong, right? You know, what's the that, because As I said, gravity stacks with itself, at least if you have like one of it or whatever, because because that's how it works. Anyway, I hope you all enjoy this, and I'll see you all in the next part, which will be just be like a,